a sinner? Yeah, I'm a sinner. We all are.
This is the West. No shortage of bad guys.
A bunch of vicious, lying, murdering thieves. No wonder they double-crossed me. Oh, and all those sins. Where am I? Somebody's come to collect.
If it is your desire to pay penance for your despicable life, I want that red Kavanaugh's blood. You're going to bring it to me.
And the Blackwater gang.
I want all 6 men. This is the work of the devil.
I don't care if you are the spawn of hell. I'll ride with you.
I'm a dead man.
Some things don't stay buried.
Take your revenge and deliver my souls.
I have to kill him. It's my only escape from damnation.
You ever run here?
Not exactly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mattcast. I am Matt. Joining me tonight is Steve.
Yes, the newly named Mattcast after Rachel and I have turned over all responsibility.
And over there in Memphis, Tennessee is Rachel. Oh, wait. We have somebody else tonight.
Gee, thanks, Matt.
Yeah. So Ronan is here, so let's give him a round of applause. He's only 16 minutes late.
Well, I mean, technically Rachel is infinitely late because she still hasn't. She just bailed on us.
That's true. That is very, very true. Rachel just doesn't answer her emails. So I guess she just doesn't like us anymore, which is fine. I mean, lots of people have dropped us from their lives before, so this is no big thing with Steve and I. So yeah, this is. I mean, we have Steve. When's the last time we did a Matt Steve cast?
It was we did one in I think mid to late November, I think, with Age of Dinosaurs, which was a good time for everyone.
Well, I mean, I guess as time goes by, memories fade. So yeah, I'll jump on that. Yeah, it was an okay time. And so yeah, since Rachel could not make it tonight, we did get Ronan, or we picked him up on the side of the road, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we had to cross union lines and pick up a scab.
I actually kind of feel like we're just too scared to do it on our own, Steve. Like, we have to have that third wheel with us.
I mean, a challenge accepted for next time.
Okay.
Next time Rachel doesn't check her email for 2 months, you and I will just go at it alone.
Okay, so Ronan, congratulations. This is your first and last episode of the Mattcast. Now, Ronan, do you know what the Stevecast is? Have you heard it before?
Steve explained the gist of it to me. Yes, I listened to an episode earlier today as well.
Which episode did you listen to?
The Dinosaur Cast.
What did you think?
It was a fun concept. It reminded me a lot of when you guys were reviewing Saw, and you would watch the Saw movie, and then you'd stop and talk about it and get drunk.
Right. That's exactly what this is. So break open a bottle of scotch, Ronan, because we're going to get drunk tonight. So yeah, this is 2016, the first Stevecast of 2016. I can't say I'm excited for the rest of them this year, but now Ronan, Steve had told you that I was picking the movie, correct?
Yes.
Well, I didn't. So you are picking the movie I have decreed. So I want you to get on Netflix, and I want you to pick a movie.
God.
Now, while you do that, Steve and I will talk. Now, Steve, I was telling you,
talk amongst yourselves.
Yes. Now, Steve, I was telling you a little bit in the chat here while we were waiting for Ronan to be able to utilize technology effectively, that I just saw a really amazing Kurt Russell film, and that Kurt Russell film was not The Hateful Eight. It was a movie called Bone Tomahawk, which I highly recommend anybody listening to this shitty podcast go watch because it's fantastic.
Is that on Netflix or is this a new movie? I've never heard of this before.
No, I got it on Blu-ray, so I don't think it's on Netflix Instant, but you can get it if you...
It is indeed on Netflix Instant. It popped up not too long ago, I believe.
Oh, is it? Is it? Okay, yeah. Well, if it's on
let's
Netflix
check that
Instant,
out.
check out Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, Matt and I have gone on a couple of movie dates since the last Stevecast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, trying it out and seeing, it's experimental phase. In my mid-30s, I'm dating Steve.
Yeah. But only twice for Star Wars and Hateful Eight.
Yes,
Many, many Star Wars dates with Steve and that. Ronan,
that was a good movie.
Have you found a movie?
I'm searching through the section right now for one that looks good that I haven't
Steve,
seen.
what have you been up to lately?
I've played so much Fallout.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I think I'm 200 hours in or so.
Yeah, I looked at it later. It's weird. On PS4, it doesn't keep track of your hours. It actually breaks it down into days. So, and I put 11 days into it.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's 11 full 24-hour periods.
Let me do the mathematics here. 11 times 24 equals 264 hours. So,
Yes.
yeah, you're
time well spent.
You're at least a couple days ahead of me for sure. And I have gotten to the point where I've just run out of things to do in Fallout 4, and I'm just patiently waiting for some DLC to come out.
Please, Bethesda, hurry with the DLC. Well, I mean, really, because, Bethesda, if you don't give us anything, then we're going to have to stop talking again and ask Ronan if he's picked a movie yet.
I have picked a movie. I found one. It looks, the title, the picture looks nice, so we're just going to go with that.
Okay. All right. So, there's, what, do you know what you have to do now, Ronan?
Yes, I have to, I'm going to let you guys guess to what it is.
Look at this guy. He's like a pro.
Very good.
He's a pro. He did his homework. Good job.
Yes, that's good. Okay, so your first guess is Western. That'll narrow it down a lot.
You're telling me what our first guess is?
No, Ronan, we gave you so much credit, and then you fucked it up. You're supposed to make us guess the idea behind it. You're not supposed to just...
telling you guys your first guess.
If we had guessed that it was a Western, that we would be right, but we can't do that anymore.
All right, so it's a Western. That's my first guess.
All right, well...
Okay, oh God, you're so bad at this. Where's Rachel? I'm going to guess it is a sci-fi Western.
I don't think it is, no.
You don't even know what it is?
No, I'm looking at the synopsis right now. It doesn't
Then
appear
how are
to
we
be.
even supposed to give... Oh, God. All right.
I
Guess,
am going to guess that based on Ronan's idea of this movie, that it is not a sci-fi Western.
Sure.
Tell us what the goddamn movie is, Ronan. What is it?
Dead in Tombstone, starring Danny Trejo.
All right. Dead in what?
Tombstone.
Dead in Tombstone.
Dead. All right. Yeah.
I see it here.
I see
Yeah.
you,
There's Danny Trejo. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let me go ahead. All right, so let me go ahead and bring this up now. Steve, what do you think this is going to be a positive experience tonight, or are we already figuring?
I think we're screwed.
I mean, you brought Ronan onto this. I had nothing to do with this. I just want to put it out there.
You texted me. It's like, hey, ask Ronan if he wants to do a podcast this weekend. Don't you put this on me.
Are you sure I did that?
Yeah, I've got the text.
Lies. Somehow you...
All right, Dead in Tombstone, 2013. When his men betray and murder him, a frontier outlaw makes a deal with the devil to return and get bloody revenge on his former gang. Also starring Mickey Rourke, Anthony Michael Hall, and
You roar.
and some other people I've never heard of.
You know, I mean, this is going to suck for me because I just watched Bone Tomahawk, and it's so fucking great. And now I'm going to watch this.
You're going to go from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right, let's get this going. We'll hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, go. All right. All right.
This movie has like a 5-minute opening title sequence.
You just got so
You
loud
are
in
so
my ear.
loud.
Oh my god. I apologize to the listeners. You're going to blow the listeners out there. They just shut this damn thing off. Okay, we are back. everybody. We are back with Ronan's pick, Dead in Tombstone. Now, we start off right away, voiceover from Mickey Rourke. He's like in a forge in hell or something, and we find out that Mickey Rourke is the devil, and, he likes to eat souls. And in the West, he never goes hungry.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke is playing Satan in fake hell, trying real hard to pay real rent, which I think is the case with everyone in this movie.
It looks like he has so much Botox in his face. It's ridiculous. It's like round. I mean, it looks like a beach ball. Ugh. Anyway.
You'd figure he'd look a little better. I mean, this was after he had success with The Wrestler. And here he is in this movie.
Wasn't he, nominated for an Oscar in that? How do you go from, The Wrestler and Darren Aronofsky to Dead in Tombstone with Danny Trejo?
Rent is due.
Rent is due. Okay, so...
Rent and utilities both come up on the same day at the end of the month. You do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do. Yeah, I'll be in a movie for 10 minutes for $50,000. Sure,
you
why
do
not?
What you do.
Okay, so Steve, what's going on in this first 10 minutes? We're introduced to a whole lot of information and a whole lot of characters.
Yeah, surprisingly, as opposed to some of the previous movies we watched on the Steve/Matt cast, this gets... we already know who these people are. They have names. Mickey Rourke, of course, is Lucifer. And then after he talks about eating souls, it cuts to, is it Anthony Michael Hall? He plays a guy named Red, I think is his name. He's about to be hanged for crimes that we know nothing about.
He looks very grizzled, by the way.
Yes, everybody in this movie needs a shave and a bath and some Weight Watchers. But
they're eating well in the West.
They are.
That's for sure.
They never go hungry in the West.
Right.
So he's about to be hanged for some crimes, and right before they're about to drop him through the gallows, Danny Trejo, who I think was just sitting there in the audience, they showed him just standing there before he opens fire, but it turns out he's part of the Blackwater gang, I think is...
highly original name.
Yes.
The Blackwater gang.
Yeah, I feel like Blackwater and Red are all names from the Red Dead Redemption series and whatever Red Dead Revolver that came up before that.
This sounds like something we would do in our movies.
Yeah, exactly. But Danny Trejo starts opening fire on the hangman and his associates, and then the rest of the gang bust through, they're inside a fort or something. They bust through the walls. They rescue Anthony and Michael Hall. They take him away, and it does this. During the credits, it shows every main character, and it has their face on a wanted poster with their name. So Anthony Michael Hall is Red. I think Danny Trejo is Guerrero. Then another guy is Baptiste, who looks like a fat cowboy Harry Potter. And then and the only other name I caught was Washington. But there's a gang of 6 or 7 guys. They break out Red. They go camp for the night, and then Red tells him of this one last score he wants to pull off. It'll be all the money that they ever need, and they can just go retire happy. There's a town called Edendale or something like that, and they have a quarry, and they just found a gold vein. And but now the town's in dispute. The guy that owns the quarry wants to keep all the gold, but there's some, I don't know, politician or something who says that his quarry permit only gives him the rights to mine this one specific mineral, and so all of the gold, even though it's in his quarry, doesn't belong to him. And so the sheriff is mitigating the dispute, and he puts all the gold in the town vault, and so the Blackwater gang rides really slow on their horses towards
So much slow motion already.
I didn't even think it wasn't slow motion. I think they just don't know how to ride horses, and they're legitimately going that slow.
Well, I guess that's one way to do it. I will say for this, I am actually pretty impressed thus far. The production value looks pretty shockingly high. Cinematography is great. You know, the whole scene with Danny Trejo and the whole gang sitting by that river and whatnot. Camera is constantly moving. I'm kind of impressed with the cinematography thus far.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, we're only 10 minutes in, but it looks like a competent production so far.
It definitely
actually looks like a
money was
movie.
put behind it, yeah. Yeah, so maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I will like this more than Bone Tomahawk.
The problem is that money is coming out of Mickey Rourke's rent utilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first started watching this, we were messaging because we figured this was going to be one of those movies where like Danny Trejo's in it for like 10 minutes, kind of like a Frank Stallone movie where you're playing Where's Frank Stallone through the whole movie, and it's not. Danny Trejo's
I never play that game because I never watch Frank Stallone movies.
You're missing out, dude.
I'm not though. I'm really not.
But no, it's going to be the Where's Mickey Rourke movie from the looks of it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Mickey Rourke has not showed up since that one pre-credit sequence.
He'll show up at the end when they have to confront the devil. That's my prediction.
You would think.
He'll probably be in the middle too, because didn't the synopsis make it out like Danny Trejo made a deal with the devil, it's kind of like a weird Western version of The Crow? That's what I gathered from the synopsis.
I didn't pay any attention to the synopsis.
Good job, Matt.
A trivia, though, on IMDb for Dead and Tombstone, it says the third collaboration of Rourke and Trejo. So, I mean, these guys are...
Does it tell you the other two?
Yes, it does. It says they have previously worked together on Once Upon a Time in Mexico and the music clip Hero. And it also says Rourke and Trejo appeared in Point Blank. So... there you go.
Like the new one or the old one?
Doesn't say. I don't care to find out.
Useless trivia.
Also, well, no, this is under spoilers, so maybe I shouldn't tell you guys this yet.
Have you already spoiled it for yourself?
No, I just read spoilers, Anthony Michael Hall. So, that's all I got.
Damn it, now I know something happens to him. Thanks, Matt.
But I don't know. I'm into it thus far. I think that this might be sort of interesting. I don't want to turn it off yet. So,
so it's already better than Age of Dinosaurs.
It is already better than the Age of Dinosaurs. That is true. But let's go ahead and get to the next 10 minutes here, and we will be right back with more Dead in Tombstone. Who gives a shit about The Force Awakens? When we have this. This is so good. This is so good.
So,
best idea ever.
Yeah, so the last 10 minutes open with a shot of Castle Grayskull, which is absolutely badass. You hear some bullshit about, he who controls Castle Grayskull, will be the masters of the universe. And then the credits just fucking explode, which is awesome. You don't see credits explode enough, I think. That's something that's been lost in more modern filmmaking. Agreed. So... after the credits explode, you see Skeletor walk down this path, and there's black-suited, TIE fighter pilots all, to the sides of him. And he's got, is it the Sorceress? Is that who she is?
You're not talking about Evelyn, right? You're talking about the actual, the Sorceress that he has this skelegasm with?
Yeah. He has the...
crystal-haired lady?
Yeah, he has the Sorceress in this... protective curtain of energy, and then he holds up his hand and this purple energy goes into his hand while he makes a skeleton O face.
I think you put it the Skeleto face.
Skeleto face.
I love Frank Langella. I know that a lot of people give the look of Skeletor shit in this movie. I always thought he looked awesome because any little kid could go to their local Walmart and get this exact same skeleton mask to put on Halloween.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool.
That's probably because that's where Canon bought it from. They just went to the local Walmart and bought it.
That's fine. Canon was great, by the way, and if anybody out there is unfamiliar with Canon, there is an amazing
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo, the wild, untold story of Canon films is amazing, and all of you guys should go watch it.
And go back and listen to American Ninja 2 cast. That was Canon, right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
They did a bunch of ninja movies, like Ninja 2, The Domination, and a bunch of weird ones.
They were big on ninjas, as everyone should be.
Has everything in the 80s were. But, so Skeletor, Evelyn makes a mistake of saying that the power of Grayskull will be ours, and Skeletor immediately yells at her, just shuts her down, puts her in her place, and says, no.
Shut up, ho!
The power of Grayskull will be mine. And so then he makes this global announcement that anyone caught helping like the Eternian forces will be put to death, whatever.
He's got like an Emperor Palpatine style hologram, but it's like on a global scale.
Yeah,
in the sky. It's a skygram.
There's a lot of Star Wars references to this that I don't think I ever really paid attention to before. We'll call them homages. Because
Homage, yes, that's the word we're going to go with. Just like how the opening big theme song is an homage to Superman.
Right, it's definitely the not Superman theme.
I like this theme better than the Superman theme, though. So what is that like? What does that mean? Like if something that's blatantly stolen from something else is done,
change it.
Yeah, that's an interesting sort of like philosophical discussion we could have here. Like the Masters of the Universe theme clearly takes from the Superman theme, and yet it is better in every way.
And
therefore, I don't know.
Because even we all noticed that even the I'm just calling him Stormtrooper. Skeletor's like his forces, the ones that don't have names, are all wearing basically like black versions of the Stormtrooper outfit to their clone armor. And He-Man, once he shows up, he immediately brings a sword to a gunfight, as Matt pointed out. But then he's deflecting laser blasts with his sword, a la a lightsaber.
Right. It's a lightsaber. It's got the powers of a lightsaber, and yet it's just a badass He-Man sword made of...
It's royalty free. That's what it is.
So He-Man kicks all the not Stormtroopers' asses, and then Man-at-Arms and his daughter shows up. They rescue Sackface, who's definitely not Orko, which is bullshit. Why did they not use Orko in this?
Yeah, why is there no Orko? Why is there no Battle Cat? Like so many
they
questions.
were on a budget.
Yeah, they couldn't afford Battle Cat, Ronan.
It would have just been like a cat that they painted green, and it would have been, like the old like 40s and 50s movies when they needed to make a giant animal. It was like transparent but blown up over like a different image.
Yeah, like Black Scorpion from the old Mystery Science Theater.
Now,
Yes.
I remember watching it. Now, just my bias is going to show here because I love this movie. I've seen this movie dozens of times. Even as a kid, I love this movie. But I do remember even as a kid being really, really sad that Gwildor was in this. Like,
Sackface.
Because Gwildor isn't actually like a real character in Masters of the Universe, is he? I don't think he is. I think they made him for this. I could be wrong. But I thought, like, I wanted Orko. Every kid wanted Orko.
Yeah.
But Orko floats, and it's canon.
And they could have done what Charles Band did was puppets and just film them from the waist up. Just say that they're moving.
Yeah, I mean, I would have... Yeah, I could see Charles Band getting a hold of this property and doing something pretty badass with it, honestly.
I'm just saying, if Tom Servo from Mystery Science Theater can float, and I make finger quotes with the float, then they could find a way to make Orko float.
Yeah. And you know what? Now I'm thinking, like, you could have a Puppet Master versus Masters of the Universe, like, crossover thing. I mean, the possibilities are endless now.
No, Masters of the Universe and Beastmaster. That's what has to happen.
But we love Puppet Master here on this show. That's what it is. In Puppet Master, Axis 15 or whatever is going to be coming out sometime like this year or the next, the Nazis, they've run out of racist puppet ideas. And so they go back to Eternia, and they finally pull Skeletor out of the pit.
Yes! I want this to happen.
But
I will come
now
out of
he's
filmmaking
puppet
retirement
sized.
Do a Kickstarter. Get this program started.
Skeletor. Oh, this is gold. I mean, we're coming up with the gold here. Yeah. Okay.
But now they've got not Orko, and he's made a blender, but with a bunch of tuning forks on it, and that
The MacGuffin key. Yes.
Yeah, and that let Skeletor's forces. That's the thing. This movie opens like after a massive battle that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, I mean, He-Man's forces are wiped out. Man-at-Arms is like, there's like 3 people left, dude.
Yeah, they used Gwildor's cosmic key to like teleport the stormtroopers behind enemy lines and just wipe out He-Man's forces. So the movie, it starts out, it's like, you know what? We're going to talk about this battle, but the rest of the movie is so fucking good, we don't have to even show it to you. You're just going to know that it's amazing.
Canon, just saying.
You know what they say, when they say in horror movies, it's best not to show everything because then you imagine something cooler than what it would actually be. That applies to this movie.
Yeah, and I imagine a bunch of black armored stormtroopers teleporting into Castle Grayskull and just kicking the fuck out of He-Man's friends, and that's badass.
I mean, in my
it's just
mind,
kind of
it's
randomly
amazing.
shooting poorly everywhere. It sounds wonderful.
I don't need to see it because it's better in my head. So yeah, I totally can get on board with Canon deciding that they don't want to show that, not because they had no budget for it, but just because they wanted us to think about it in our head and it'd be even better.
Right, that's what they thought. It wasn't it wasn't planned for them to not show it.
It had nothing to do with money at all.
Right.
It was actually written in the script, but then they were like, you know what? We don't need this. It's not necessary. Yeah. It bogs down the movie.
Even better, they shot it all. They shot everything. It was awesome, and then they made the decision, nah, we don't need it.
Footage is lost forever, too. It's one of the great mysteries of cinema. Where did the footage go?
Yeah. By the way, Gary Goddard, who directed this epic, amazing film, his next film was a video short called Jurassic Park The Ride pre-show video. So this guy went from Masters of the Universe in '87 to
the Jurassic Park
The Ride pre-show video, which is at Universal Studios, I believe. So, yeah, he's connected to the Jurassic Park universe, guys. Ergo, he's connected to Steven Spielberg. Ergo, Steven Spielberg approves of Masters of the Universe. So
yes.
Exactly.
That logic is flawless.
Now, what we're coming up here, the next segment here, they're going to take the Cosmic Key, spoiler, they're going to take the Cosmic Key and they're going to end up here on Earth, present day 1987.
Again, for reasons that don't involve budget.
Yeah, now the thing is, people hate this, right? This is a big thing with this movie. People are like, this sucks because the movie doesn't take place in eternity. It takes place blah, blah, blah. I'm totally fine with it. I'm on board. I want He-Man to come to my universe and, do awkward shit. People loved it when Thor came to Earth and was doing stupid shit and not knowing what to do. They love that. He-Man, Dolph Lundgren, is just pre-Chris Hemsworth Thor. I mean, that's what we got here. Agreed?
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It works in this movie, but it didn't work in other movies at the time. Again, to reference Beastmaster. Beastmaster 2, that concept did not work at all. But here it works flawlessly.
Let it go, Ronan. Let Beastmaster go.
That you like Beastmaster.
Beastmaster is great, but I'm using it as a comparison. It works in He-Man. It does not work in the other franchise.
Okay, well,
Canon pulled it off.
Let us get to the next 10 minutes of this amazing film, because if I remember correctly, I'm going to get real hungry for chicken in just a minute. So we will be back with the next 10 minutes of Masters of the Universe in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Will work out. That scene where he's just going moo reminds me of I think it's Scotty talking to the 80s computer in one of the old Star Trek movies.
Hello there, computer. He's talking into the mouse.
All right, well, that's the next 10 minutes. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love Skeletor in this. Frank Langella plays Skeletor, and it's just great. But I love how they characterize, they go balls out and just saying how evil Skeletor actually is. He's just young. People's no, the power is all mine. I love his line, I must possess all, or I possess nothing. Which I think is just great. It's just a great line for that character. And when He-Man's let her go, he's no, I don't think so. I just love how he's just just so brazenly no. Love
it. I mean, in most in any sort of, I think, modern, good versus evil story, the good guy, or the bad guy, rather, almost always has to have some sort of shade of gray. Or, he's super evil, but then you find out why he's evil, and it's he was
a good guy at one point.
Yeah, you're evil, but I understand. No, Skeletor has no shade of gray. He is 100% evil, and it is badass.
Yeah. I just wish he didn't just stand there.
Yeah. maybe hit someone with his goat head staff.
I love that goat head staff. Somewhere someone has that staff still, and I want it. So what happened in this 10 minutes, Steve?
So the movie starts. The last 10 minutes started where they're in Gwildor's hidden cave. They're fucking with his cosmic key, and Skeletor's forces, led by bitch face McWeaselhead. He yells at the stormtrooper to ionize, and that blows the door open. And so they escape through this mysterious secret tunnel into Castle Grayskull that just happened to be there. Apparently Skeletor didn't know about it because there was no one there to stop He-Man from getting inside. But they get
makes that key a little bit worthless, doesn't it?
Yes.
It reminded me of like when Jack Nicholson had like the underground tunnel straight to the Playboy Mansion, and he could just go there whenever he wanted. I think Gwildor sort of has that same sort of secret tunnel straight to Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, why did Gwildor have a tunnel from his lair to Castle Grayskull?
I don't know. That's a little strange. I do want to point out real quick for our young listeners who might not know what Masters of the Universe is, and we're talking about how awesome Skeletor is, right? But there's probably a lot of people out there in this new millennial generation that have no freaking idea who Skeletor is. I'm just going to read the first two paragraphs of the Wikipedia page here, just the introduction of who Skeletor is. It says Skeletor is a fictional character and the primary antagonist of the Masters of the Universe franchise created by Mattel. He is the arch enemy of He-Man, depicted as a muscular blue humanoid with a purple hood over his yellowing bare-boned skull. Skeletor seeks to conquer Castle Grayskull so he can obtain its ancient secrets, which would make him unstoppable and enable him to conquer and rule Eternia, but his incompetent henchman's stupidity always gets in the way. In the 2002 series, Skeletor was once a man named Keldor whose face accidentally got splashed with a corrosive liquid. He survived, but at the cost of his face.
No, I actually watched this He-Man remake from the early 2000s, and I thought it was pretty badass.
Really?
I watched it too.
I'm looking at a photo, like a screenshot.
It's on
of Skeletor.
Netflix, Matt.
He looks pretty awesome. Oh, really?
Yeah, well, the first season, like, he fights Skeletor, and there's one season where, like, he fights snake people, which is not as cool. But it starts out pretty awesome, and as long as Skeletor is there, it's pretty great.
I remember an episode where they actually capture Skeletor in that show, and that brings up the interesting question: we've got him. What do we do with him? I think they put like a collar or a spell on him, where he has to be nice to everybody, and his henchmen take advantage of that, and he has to say nice things to them for an episode. It's very funny.
It's okay. Better luck next time when you miss the freaking target.
So back to the movie. They get through the secret Castle Grayskull cave. This I don't know, blue flashlight that's shining down on top of the sorceress is just too powerful. They can't crack it. They can't rescue the sorceress. They're trying to get Gwildor to break in with the cosmic key because apparently that's a thing that it can do. And then Skeletor and his forces show up. There's a fight. Skeletor, he first offers them the chance to join him, to pledge their loyalty to him. But of course they don't, because there's the good guys. They realize that Gwildor has another key, and like Matt said, Skeletor needs all of it or he has nothing. So he opens a portal. They jump through the portal, and they shoot this awesome like claw machine hand back in, through the portal and grab it and suck it through the portal. And that takes them to Earth, and now Gwildor is talking to a cow. First, he money shots Tila with his gill slits, and now they're
what? Wow!
Now they're looking for the cosmic key, and that's where we're paused.
I don't know where to go from. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Ronan, what say you?
Moo! Moo! What a terrible cry the creature has.
Yeah, Gwildor is trying to communicate with a cow. I'm just going to go straight to a trivia thing here, if that's okay, guys.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do trivia.
Director Gary Goddard had planned to have all of Dolph Lundgren's lines dubbed by another actor, as Lundgren had only limited acting experience, a thick Swedish accent, and was not yet fluent in English during filming. However, Lundgren had stipulated in his contract that he would have at least 3 opportunities to redub his lines in post-production. With the film running behind schedule, Goddard decided to just use Lundgren's natural voice instead.
Yeah, what's wrong? I don't detect this terrible Swedish accent from He-Man.
Well, he kind of has a little bit of a Swedish accent.
Right, but
it's not that bad, honestly.
It's not to the point where he's incomprehensible, which is what it sounds like Cannon was implying.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Steve.
Your trivia is bullshit now.
I'll do better with the next one, I promise. But yeah, this is great. Okay, this is something I wanted to bring up, guys. We get sort of our first real shot of Evelyn in this segment. Evelyn, hot or not?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to go with the yay.
Yeah, I feel like if you actually had sex with her, she would rip your head off and eat it like a praying mantis. So it depends on if you're into that or not.
Quite possibly, yeah. I'm going to say no. I think it's the eyes, the weird eyes that she has. It's just, I can't deal with it. Can't deal with it.
You're wrong.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll go with the yay on this one.
A yay? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that ends my questioning for the segment. Let's go ahead and watch the next 10 minutes of Masters of the Universe.
With Robbie's ribs and chicken.
So much Star Wars. It's all Star Wars. Okay. Ronan, why don't you give us a brief synopsis of this 10 minutes here, if you can. I want to see if you can. That's why I'm calling.
Okay, so what's happened here is Wildor has captured Chicken from Julia and her boyfriend, what's his name? And he's kind of an ass. He's kind of an asshole.
The chicken.
Yes, with Man-at-Arms grappling hook thingy somehow. But the good thing is that they all ended up loving the chicken, although I don't believe He-Man actually got any of it, so that's kind of assy.
Chicken. What are you talking about? As soon as Tila found out that it was an animal, she was like, I don't like it.
Man-at-Arms liked it. He was like, good food.
He was outnumbered. Orko and Tila were not a fan of the chicken.
That ain't Orko. You shut your mouth. Disrespecting Orko.
But so Julie's boyfriend finds the MacGuffin key, and now Skeletor's onto him, and he's just assembled a band of mercenaries to go after them. We should
point out that that is Courtney Cox. So let's see. Jennifer Aniston was in Leprechaun. Courtney Cox was in Masters of the Universe. Clearly, Courtney Cox picked the better property of the film.
Yes. Now, if only this was not marketed as a children's movie, I say that with finger quotes, she would have been topless in that restaurant scene because this is the canon movie.
It's true.
Yeah, probably.
I was just thinking though, if Tila was in any other movie with some sort of superhero, she would be wearing a bikini, but she's wearing a full bodysuit. So they didn't.
He-Man is wearing less than she is.
Right, but they didn't exploit the women in this movie. Which, if Tila had been in American Ninja 2, she would have been on the beach near topless.
That is a really interesting insight, Steve. This is a canon movie in which all of the women are completely covered head to toe.
Again, is this because it's supposed to be targeted at children and they knew they couldn't have
I have
nudity?
To assume.
Yeah, I have to assume that, but there's also the scenes where those people are making out in the car, and Man-at-Arms is like, "Oh, I was doing that before you were even born," to his daughter, which is kind of weird. Yeah, there's some stuff in here, the Skelegasm from Skeletor earlier. There's some hidden subtext here that's going on. I feel we'll get more of that as we go, for sure.
Yeah, there's not a lot that happens in this last 10 minutes. It's basically just the characters screwing around. Courtney Cox and her boyfriend, who is Lieutenant Tom Paris from Star Trek Voyager, they find the cosmic key, and he's a musician, so he immediately goes and plays with it.
Yeah, they find it in a cemetery,
right?
Because there's a subplot there.
Yeah, Courtney Cox's parents are dead. and she feels responsible. Like she could have stopped. Didn't they die in like a plane crash?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so she feels like thinks that she could have stopped them for whatever reason. And as they're walking away, they find the cosmic key. And it looks like, it impacted like a meteor hit. And so, but the Courtney Cox just reaches down and grabs it. And it's like, let's play with this. Let's push all the buttons on this mystery thing that we
This is one of those hot new Japanese synthesizers.
Yeah. So her boyfriend takes it. He's a musician. He takes it to like a stage somewhere where equipment's set up, and he's going to do a sound check on it. I thought he was about to plug it in, like it just happened to have like a jack that would plug into like the sound equipment, but he just pushes buttons, and it makes a pretty light show, which alerts Skeletor that the cosmic key has been activated. So as Matt aptly pointed out, Skeletor has to rally the bounty hunters and warn them to not
disintegrations.
Even before that, though, or Evelyn's talking to him, and she's like, "We've got a track on," because when they play the cosmic key, then Skeletor can use GPS to sort of find out exactly where it is in the universe. And she says it's like a
parsec eon.
It's a parsec eon. Now, fans of sci-fi will know that Han Solo made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. So clearly, Eternia is in the Star Wars universe, which is why there are these different stormtroopers. This must be an offshoot. Like maybe Skeletor was a apprentice of the Emperor and just broke off and did his own thing.
This has to be like the remnants of the Empire, because Star Wars takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
So this is like the future Star Wars.
Because they're not technically like going back in time or anything. They're just going to like a different world.
Right. So, I mean, Skeletor could be...
So it's literally 1987 in the Star Wars universe.
Right. So who knows how long ago that was. But speaking of time, I wanted to bring up, they mentioned that they only have until like the moonfall.
The moon rises. Whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, until the moonrise of Eternia to save the sorceress. So, what's Earth? Is Earth like 2 hours behind Eternia time? Like, how do they know when the moon is going to rise on Eternia when they're on Earth?
It's Eastern Standard Time. That's what everybody goes by. So, I think, don't ask questions like that, Steve.
It's galactic basics, Steve. God.
Now, we are introduced to our 4 bounty hunters here. We've got Blade, who's sort of like a human dude with one eye and just like shredder armor all over him.
You're getting the $5 costume. Everybody else gets makeup.
Exactly. We have Sarad, which is sort of like this lizard Bosk type creature. If you guys remember in Return of the Jedi, Bosk is the lizard in the yellow suit. We have clearly Ronan's favorite character, the Beast Man, right, Ronan? Beastman is there, which just looks like an angry Sasquatch, and then we have Karg,
bitch face McWeaselhead.
Bitch face McWeaselhead. So, out of the 4 bounty hunters, which was your guys' favorite as a kid?
Karg, bitch face McWeaselhead, all the way.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with Snake Man or whatever the fuck that weird snake robot one was.
Sarad was always my favorite as well. I like Sarad. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, he lasts about 30 seconds in this movie before he gets offed. But yeah, I always liked Sarad the best.
And if you like Blade the best, you fail.
Yeah, I think I asked that to Jeff once. I'm like, who's he? He's like, Blade, not close. I'm like, really? You're that guy. Jeff is that guy.
Congrats on picking the lamest dude.
Let me guess, I bet you also like Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Unless there's anything else you guys want to say about this.
I got nothing. I need more Masters of the Universe.
All right, we're starting like Skeletor's got a beat on him now, so now we're gonna start getting into some cool shit. So let's go ahead and start. 5, 4, 3, 2, go. What happened to Julie?
That 10 minutes flew by.
That went real quick. All right.
So something else that I just noticed more, I think Star Wars references. All of the bad guys' weapons shoot red lasers, which are the Sith colors of their lightsabers, and of course, Man-at-Arms and Tila have blue and green, which are the Jedi lightsaber colors.
Yeah, there you go. There's kyber crystals in those things.
All right, so Masters of the Universe confirmed for Star Wars. All right, we just confirmed it, guys.
Done. All right, so what's happened, guys?
Ronan, take it away.
So apparently the boyfriend dude, he's putting on a rockin' concert at the high school for the high school dance because, that was a thing in the 80s was high school dances. And,
Still is, I think. Still is.
Because they were playing around with the MacGuffin key. All of the bounty hunters found them in their rockin' school dance parlor or whatever it was they were doing, which is also conveniently located right next to a large empty. Well, it's not an empty warehouse, but it is located right next door to a large warehouse where everybody has their fight scene.
What do you got against warehouses?
That was riveting explanation there, Ronan. Riveting.
So
that's what happened, dude.
We didn't cover Julie's backstory. Like we talked about her parents died, and that's why she was at the graveyard where they found the cosmic key. But she's got a longtime boyfriend who is the guy Tom
really
Paris.
Wanting it. Like he really she's moving away, and he's like,
right.
You got to give it up, and she just won't.
Yeah, she's moving away. She's breaking up with him, and he's so far before he got excited about the cosmic key, he's trying to get her to stay, and if not stay, then put off leaving for a while. And she's kind of a bitch about it. She's just like, yeah, I know this is my last night with you, but I want to be alone in the school for a little while, so just leave. And of course he does, and takes the key to get it appraised by some music guy. But she gets attacked by all of the bounty hunters from Skeletor, and they're Skeletor's very clear. Don't kill him. We need her. We got to find her, or we need these people alive so we can find the key or whatever. Blade's like, no, fuck that shit. There's at least 3 times where had she'd been an inch to the left, she would have been killed by this douchebag.
Yeah,
who got the shitty costume.
And Beastman just flat out attacks the janitor dude, even though what were you guys calling him, Weasel McBitchface or whatever? Who seems to
McWeaselhead.
Who seems to be in charge of the bounty hunters. If nothing else, he's the one shouting orders at them.
Yeah,
but he's telling them, no, don't kill him. We need them. And what does Beastman do? He just grabs the janitor and throws him through the door, and then starts to maul him while Blade tries to slice up old Julie. And so they're not listening to anybody in true bounty hunter fashion. So they're clearly going against the will of Darth Skeletor with his no disintegration rule.
Darth Skeletor. Yes. I have a little bit of backstory here. When Blade engages He-Man in his sword fight, and I actually mentioned this in the chat while I was watching it, because Blade jumps in, he's like, I've been waiting a long time for this. So I'm like, well, what the hell? They don't explain that. Is there a thing between him and He-Man? He-Man just seems to be like it's just another dude. He doesn't seem to care. But according to the trivia on IMDb, it says, when Blade engages He-Man in a sword fight, Blade says to He-Man, I've been waiting a long time for this. And in Blade's backstory, Blade lost his left eye in a fight with He-Man. So there you go. I feel like it's even going to be worse now, right? Because now he has no depth perception. So I feel like fighting He-Man, and he gets his ass kicked by He-Man. I mean, he's whining because He-Man knocks the sword out of his hand, and Blade is kind of a whiny bitch.
Jeff's favorite, dude.
There's a
Jeff's favorite
wiki. There's a He-Man wiki that says there was a comic book adaptation of the movie, and Blade is drawn with yellow skin and has a large grilled mask over the lower part of his face. He is mute with no dialogue at any point and is referred to by He-Man as Silent One.
Well, there is definitely some creative differences.
Does Dolph Lundgren have a Twitter? Can we get him on this show to ask him about this?
He's got to. That is a great idea. Let me look it up. Talk amongst yourselves.
So, Steve, where did you discover the fact there's a comic book? I'm assuming the interwebs, right? Is there?
Yeah, I just pulled up. First I was looking at because everything has a wiki now, every kind of a show or cartoon or whatever. And so I was trying to see like what the backstory for Gwildor was. Like if they said that the script was written for it to be Orko, but then they didn't go with it. And all it says is basically Canon couldn't do it on their budget, so we got Gwildor instead. Why couldn't they just make Orko walk? Like, how difficult would it have been to just make Orko have feet if you're going to change it? Anyways, but so I put in Blade as Matt was talking about it to find out more of this backstory that Matt was commenting on, and there's no backstory. Okay. The trivia lies.
Twitter is at Dolph_Lundgren, official Twitter. It's verified. It's got the little check mark by it. So I'm going to say, at Dolph Lundgren, we are watching Masters of the Universe. Man, that Blade guy is a whiny bitch. So that's what I'm going to put. Tweet sent. So hopefully Dolph responds as we go through. And feel free, guys, anything you want to tell or tweet to Dolph, just let me know. I'll type it in.
Okay.
Good work.
Yeah, that's all I got. I mean...
Yeah, there's not much that happens. There's like half a fight scene where He-Man shows up and he fights Blade and Sarad, but he kind of just throws Sarad into Blade and calls it a day. So I'm waiting for the exciting conclusion of this warehouse battle.
Yeah, well, I guess where are you at in the timeline here? Because I'm paused at like the ambulance and
that's my ROM now.
I'm paused at 39 minutes and 59 seconds. I'm looking at an ambulance.
Yeah, and that 10 minutes, the past 10 minutes has been pretty action-packed. I mean, it has been a lot of lasers and some cannon fights. Well, let's just call them that, cannon fights. But I do like when Courtney Cox is running away from the bounty hunters and she's running...
Bumps into He-Man.
Yeah, she's running down like this dark alley. It just looks like a nasty dark alleyway, whatever. And then He-Man, like half-naked He-Man's just standing there, and she just is like, I'm just gonna let this weirdo like hold me and pick me up and carry me away.
First, I'm gonna rub my head into his chest sweat.
I'm just kind of thinking, like, that's the wrong message to give young girls watching this. If you find a half-naked man dressed like He-Man in an alleyway, don't assume that he's there to help you.
Especially if he's armed with a sword and a laser gun.
Right. It's a Swedish accent. I mean,
Masters of the Universe was doing so well, keeping the ladies in the movie covered, sending a good message to them. They don't have to show off their bodies to get what they want. But then as soon as a naked man shows up, it's like, yes, let me bury my face in your pecs.
Yes.
There, Julie. Tell the naked man what's wrong.
And women are always upset because they're like, it's just an objectification of the female form, the female body in all these movies. Well, in this, we have the reverse. It's an objectification of the male form. I feel completely inadequate because I can never look like Dolph Lundgren looks in this movie.
You can look like Dolph Lundgren now.
Yeah, now I'm trying to get there, but man, yeah, it's objectification of males in this. It's very...
This movie has a message.
Yeah. So, there you go. But that's the next 10 minutes, or last 10 minutes, I should say. I feel like Skeletor's on his way. He's going to come soon. So, hopefully it's in the next 10 minutes. He's going to come soon. Let's go ahead and start...
You made the Skeletor face earlier.
Skeletor face. All right, let's... Next 10 minutes in 5,
Use
4,
your
3,
words,
2.
man.
I can just speak right. Cut. Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future.
He's kind of a dick.
Ronan, you're loud.
Sorry, I'm not sure what's making it so loud.
You're just really excited, which I can understand. So
who wants to do the 10 minutes?
Microwaves can disrupt Eternian technology, but then it's okay. You just push a button and they explode, like you sunk their battleship.
With science.
Yes. With that mystical science, you can blow up microwaves from miles away.
But it's like the interference is like nothing they've ever seen, Steve.
Right. They don't have microwaves on Eternia.
It wasn't easy.
They have laser blocking swords and laser rifles, but they can't make a hot pocket in Eternia.
So this is a sad sequence. Sorod gets murdered by Skeletor here, which was sad for me as a kid because that was my favorite.
There's two things about this scene. One, I want to know how they got back to Eternia.
They had to have Skeletor's key, right? Did he give it to him?
But they didn't.
Great magic.
Like, unless they took Skeletor's key, brought it back, or then used it to go back to Eternia, gave it to him, walked back out of the room, and then came back in for their bitch talking to, because they didn't have it when they came in.
Off-screen magic.
Yeah, off-screen magic. But the second thing that bothers me is Sorod, the snake guy, was the one dude that was following orders and not trying to massacre Julie as soon as they ran into her.
That is true.
He was not competent, but he was the one bounty hunter that follows orders. And Skeletor is just, it's not force magic because it was pink. Or not force lightning, but
force magic.
That's how they got back to Eternia. But he uses totally not force lightning to vaporize Sorod, and then Evelyn.
He was about to give it to her. Like, he was like all up on her and everything. He was really happy until he found out that they didn't get He-Man.
Yeah. But she mentions that Skeletor wants to just kill all the bounty hunters. He doesn't tolerate failure. But he kills Sorod, and before he can execute the rest, Evelyn says, we shouldn't waste all of their powers. And Skeletor takes that to mean that she's volunteering to go back to Earth. And so he sends her off, but he tells her, when you find the key, send a signal, and I'll send an attacking force or myself. Like, it's one or the other. Like, coin flip, you're either going to get Skeletor or these bitch stormtroopers, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is.
I love the dynamic between her and Skeletor as well, because when Skeletor's like, hey, thanks for volunteering, go, and she's like, I didn't mean me. He's like, I don't give a shit. Go to Earth. Congratulations. I'm Skeletor, goddammit. You get a little bit of backstory here as well when he's talking to Evelyn, and Skeletor's kind of lamenting the fact that everybody on Eternia doesn't like him because he's murdering everybody and trying to take over. And so he's like, God, why don't the people love me? And
it's because he didn't get the Senate to turn against the Eternians beforehand.
That's true.
So he's just coming across as a conqueror now.
Yeah, he needed to learn more about how Palpatine really took over and took control of the galaxy. He's not doing it the right way. No. He's just doing it straight through force. I mean, there's got to be more subterfuge there. Yeah,
he's worried that if he just outright kills He-Man, that he'll be a martyr, and the Eternians will still cheer for him and rally around him. So he's got to turn. His plan is basically to turn He-Man to the dark side so that the people don't miss him when he's gone.
Now, I believe that he says, I could be wrong, but I think Skeletor says, I'll turn him into a martyr, and he's like, he'll be a saint, which means that the Catholics exist on Eternia. So that is something. He-Man is probably Catholic, which is an interesting thing to know. I didn't pick that up when I was a kid, but I do.
Space Catholic.
Space Catholic.
Well, does that mean he worships the giant spider like in South Park?
I don't know, but he's against space abortions.
I'm going to read a couple more trivia bits here now. Okay, because I'm looking on the IMDb page, there are a million trivia bits here, and I'm going to try to get through a few here. Many viewers of the film commented on actress Meg Foster's eerily effective contact lenses, which gave her character of Evelyn a sinister and unearthly air. Actually, she wore no contact lenses.
Yeah, she has crazy green eyes.
Yeah, her eyes naturally having blue-gray irises and tiny pupils, giving her a striking appearance.
But can she handle the burning blade?
Oh, God. I've actually met Meg Foster, now that I think about it, at Texas Frightmare Weekend, and now that I'm remembering this, she actually, those are her natural eyes, which is kind of strange.
So she just naturally has the praying mantis eat your face eyes?
Yeah, God, that'd be weird if you're a dude, right? Just Frank Langella went on record in an interview stating that playing Skeletor was one of his favorite roles. His young son was a huge fan and was running around the house shouting, "By the power of Grayskull," so he took the role for him. He wrote some of his lines like, "Tell me about the loneliness of good, He-Man. Is it equal to the loneliness of evil?" And then he probably tried to kill his son. Another Meg Foster thing here. Meg Foster's costume weighed a reported 45 pounds, and the actress sustained bruises to her groin from the breastplate she wears throughout the film.
Blame it on the breastplate, or the groin plate.
I wasn't thinking a Skeletor pounding. It was the breastplate. Constructed of fiberglass, Foster has said the breastplate restricted her movements a great deal, which is why Evelyn is never shown sitting during the film. Foster has also said that the discomfort from the costume helped inform her performance, as the weight and design of the costume forced her to puff out her chest during every take, thus generating the character's slinky posture. So she was actually like pushing out some titties for the kids. So thanks, Matt.
What covered up titties, because this movie turns the stereotype on its head.
Okay, yeah, I mean, do you guys want another piece of trivia quick?
Of course. I want.
Yes.
Beastman's prosthetic teeth were so large that performer Tony Carroll was unable to close his mouth when in costume. After a while, he would begin to drool, filling his chin piece with saliva and weighing it down. And then Skeletor's line, "I'm not in the giving mood this day," comes from Shakespeare's Richard III. So, yeah, classing up the dialogue here, man. Got some Shakespeare in this
Matt,
shit.
Will you tweet Dolph Lundgren and tell him that
yes,
the principal from Back to the Future has the cosmic key? Like, he can cut like 40 minutes off this movie if he just goes and gets it.
Okay, dude, we just found out that the principal from Back to the Future has...
You can shorten it down by saying Principal Strickland, because you have 140 characters.
I don't think Dolph Lundgren knows who Principal Strickland is.
They don't have Back to the Future in Sweden.
Yeah, has the cosmic key. Save yourself some time, dude. Oh, I'll say bro. No, bruh. That's what you say. Save yourself some time, bruh. Tweet sent. Okay. That's good. This is good stuff. I like this segment.
Was the breastplate really the reason Meg Foster couldn't sit down? Like, we're all bros here.
Okay, hold on. That's going.
We're in the nest. We're in the nest, bro. We won't tell anybody.
Why did you say that first, Steve? You always come up with this funny stuff, but not when I need it. Okay.
That's how Steve operates,
how did you word
Matt.
that, Steve? How did you word that?
Be honest. Was the breastplate really the reason Meg Foster couldn't?
Groin plate.
Was the groin plate really I wonder if Meg Foster has a Twitter, and I could just...
Yes!
Well, hold on. Meg Foster Twitter. I mean, this is gonna get us in trouble. Okay, this is real Meg Foster. Oh my God! Don't go to real Meg Foster.
All right, I'm going to it.
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
Ronan, say something. We're tweeting.
This
is great radio right here.
Okay, so to fill in some time, to link this movie into other movies where great actors are playing weird roles you wouldn't think, Raul Julia was playing Bison in Street Fighter, mainly for his kids because they liked the games, and he decided he would play it.
I was just thinking about that when Matt brought up why this guy took the Skeletor role.
Yeah, that's it. And so that more than one people have taken on roles like that.
Yeah.
So what would be a role that you guys would take on?
For my kids that I don't have?
Yes. Pretend you guys had children, and it's like, oh, Daddy Ronan, please take this particular movie role. What would that be, Ronan?
I need you to say that again, Matt, but I need you to say it slower and more sexy.
Daddy Ronan. What, it got real weird. What role would you take on, Ronan?
Well, I'm going to have to imagine what my hypothetical imaginary kid's like.
Well, while Ronan doesn't have an answer, I would be a fucking Power Ranger in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Did you see that Power Ranger just got arrested for murder?
Yeah, he got murdered. So, I mean, Cole from was it Wild Force, his life took a downturn once he beat the orgs.
let's go ahead and watch the next 10 minutes of Masters of the Universe. It's getting real exciting here. Oh, by the way, James Tolkien, who plays Lubeck, the cop, who was also Mr. Strickland in Back to the Future, he's in Bone Tomahawk, by the way. So that's another reason to go watch Bone
I'm mostly just shocked that this guy is still alive.
Yeah, well, he's still alive. All right, we'll be back in 5, 4, 3, 2. The universe is music. It's music, guys. It's music.
So, I mean, if the universe is music, does that mean having a big battle scene in a music store destroying all the musical instruments? Isn't that destroying the universe, dudes?
I'm going to go with that. That's the best thing.
There's a universe inside each one of those instruments.
It's almost as if 1,000 voices cried out and were suddenly silenced.
Okay, Steve, what's happening?
Well, it starts with the Back to the Future principal. He takes the key away from the boyfriend, and he's going to take it to Charlie, who is the music store owner from before, to verify the boyfriend's story about how he found it and what he thinks it is, even though he doesn't know what it is. As soon as that happens, Evil Lynn and all of the bounty hunters show up, and the boyfriend, the best move he has is he throws a roll of paper towel at Beastman and says, "Get out of here." But spoiler, that didn't work. So they kick his ass and they put a slave collar from Paradise Falls and Fallout 3 on him, and that makes him it works like a truth serum. So they ask him where it is. And he tells it the cop has it, and so they decide we can track the key from the air, which, as Matt pointed out, if that was the thing you could do, why did you go to that house when it wasn't there anymore?
Reasons.
Because of reasons. So they leave. They abandon the boyfriend. They don't kill him for whatever reason. And they take off in their, the floating space pontoon boat from Return of the Jedi.
Jabba's barge.
Yeah. They float off. They're flying through the sky on this spaceship/barge.
Great graphics.
Yeah, yet somehow Gwildor's fucking Cadillac beats them to the music store. He-Man shows up and He-Man and the team show up, but they rescue the boyfriend. They all work together. They go find the principal at the music store. And now we're in the middle of a giant battle in the music store, and shit's blowing up all over the place. And Gwildor needs the help of a master song maker in order to find the coordinates back to Eternia. They should just ask the bad guys, because apparently they know the way.
They can easily get back whenever they want. Now, the thing we keep forgetting to mention this, Gwildor
is a dick.
Every scene that Gwildor shows up in, he has stolen something. So
he stole a car in the last 10-minute segment. We totally forgot that.
Yeah, earlier he stole the chicken from the people. Then he shows up in the sort of alleyway, weird fence set thing where they were fighting, where Blade and He-Man were fighting. He drives up in a car, so he just stole someone's car. And in this, he pops up, and he's literally raided whoever's closet and has stolen all of their clothes and is now wearing those around. This guy's like a klepto. He literally just steals everything, and he's the entire reason that Skeletor has just murdered thousands and thousands of Eternians.
The blood of every dead Eternian is on Gwildor's hands.
It's pretty incredible. I'd never noticed this when I was a kid, but this character is awful. Just awful. It's a terrible role model.
I also want to throw out there that within the span of maybe less than 20 minutes, however long it was that Not Orko was playing around with this pink caddy, he modified it with technology that I don't know where the fuck he got it from to have it no longer be a carbon-based engine system.
It runs on neutrinos. I fixed it.
Somehow he does this in 20 minutes off screen with off-screen magic.
Well, I mean, he's Gwildor. Here's some trivia bits, guys. Mattel, the company that owned and produced Masters of the Universe toy line, mandated early in production that He-Man not be allowed to kill anyone on screen. This necessitated making Skeletor's troops into robot soldiers, though this fact is never stated outright in the film.
I was going to say they're robots.
So they are robots, guys.
That reminds me of Ninja Turtles, where the foot soldiers are suddenly robots and they go clang.
Yeah, Clang. Did you say Clang?
Dolph Lundgren went on record in a French magazine interview by saying that working on the Masters of the Universe movie was a nightmare for him. Lundgren said it was a 5-month filming schedule, 2 of which were done during nighttime, and he was proposed by the crew. That doesn't make sense. And he was proposed by the crew in doing a sequel while filming Red Scorpion, but he turned down the offer. Ironically, in an interview with the IO9 website while he was promoting The Expendables, Dolph Lundgren said he would return to appear in a new Masters of the Universe movie as either a cameo or reprise his role as He-Man, which I do not want to see.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. Though I have heard, and maybe since you're on IMDb, you can find this out. I've heard rumor, and I've seen things online that say that they wrote a script for this, and then
I'm glad you said that, because that's the next thing I was going to read, Steve. A Masters of the Universe sequel was actually written and cast, but was never filmed. Director Albert Pyun proposed to producers Menem Golan and Yoram Globus that he would make the sequel in a Spider-Man film back-to-back at De Laurentiis Studio in Wilmington, North Carolina. The sets for the 2 movies were built, the costumes were made, both films had been fully cast, and the budget for Masters of the Universe Part 2 was set at $4.5 million. The Mattel Toy Company also gave their approval to many of the characters that would appear in the sequel. The only known actor cast for the sequel was surfer Laird John Hamilton as He-Man. I don't know who that is, so someone should Google that. Laird John Hamilton. And the only aspect known about the sequel's screenplay was that He-Man would have returned to Earth and was disguised as a professional quarterback. Pyun would also be using the same high school sets for Kevin and Julie later when he would direct Spider-Man. It is not known, though, if there were any new characters introduced from the Masters of the Universe cartoon and/or toy line for the sequel. However, Canon would be unable to make both the Masters of the Universe sequel and Spider-Man, as Canon Films would later go out of business. Oh, what we could have...
the second part of that was I had always heard that what was going to be Masters of the Universe 2 became like another movie, like with Jean-Claude Van Damme, like Cyborg or something.
I'm glad you said that, Steve, because the next thing I was going to read, a sequel to the film, which was to be titled Masters of the Universe 2 Cyborg, was written and followed He-Man, who returned to Earth to battle Skeletor, who has left Earth as a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and the film was to feature Trapjaw and She-Ra, and Albert Pyun was hired to direct. But because of the film bombing at the box office, Mattel and Canon decided to cancel production on the sequel, and Albert Pyun decided to have screenwriter Albert Pyun rewrite the script, and it became the script for Cyborg. So there you go.
Which, is fucking stupid. If you're going to have the Earth be like some post-apocalyptic wasteland, just have it be fucking Eternia.
Yeah, if you're going to be filming out in the desert anyway.
I agree, yeah. I totally agree. So, yeah, I mean, what could have been... Now, it's interesting that, all the sets and, there's costumes and all this stuff. There's a script floating out there somewhere. Someone has this. It would be amazing. Everyone knows that I'm very anti-Kickstarter. Any crowdsourcing, I am totally against that. However... I will make an exception for someone who gets that script and decides we're going to make a new Masters of the Universe movie, the sequel to it, with the original shooting script. I will gladly...
we'll donate to that.
I will go against my morals and my principles, and I will donate to that Kickstarter. So somebody should make that happen.
There's a Wikipedia page for Laird Hamilton. Laird Hamilton is an American big wave surfer, yada, yada, yada. First paragraph in early life. I'm just curious about this. Laird was born Laird John Zerfus in San Francisco on March 2nd, 1964, in an experimental saltwater sphere at UCSF Medical Center designed to ease the mother's labor. I want to see this experimental saltwater sphere.
Weird. Okay. Well, we are in the middle of an action scene here, so we got to get back to it. Let's go ahead and watch, what is this, minute 60 through 70 of
Yes.
Masters of the Universe. Dun, dun, dun. I wonder if Frank Langella has a Twitter account.
I hope so.
Look him up.
I'm gonna look.
More Laird John Hamilton trivia. He was Kevin Costner's stunt double in Waterworld.
Really?
And
No, Frank Langella does not have a Twitter
now I'm
account.
going to close his Wikipedia page. So there's this big laser battle here, and Tila is guarding the cop and Charlie and Courtney Cox and her boyfriend. And at one point, Tila just abandons them. She's like, I got to go help He-Man and Man-at-Arms. And she comes out, she shoots a couple bad guys. She's like, don't worry, the room is secure. Bullshit. There's a fucking unlocked back door that Evil Lynn knows about that's not guarded at all. So
Yeah.
Tila, while hot, is not the greatest strategist.
Well, she drops the ball, but you know who drops the ball so much harder? Julie, because now suddenly Julie just goes and drops the ball. It's like, oh, hi, dead mom. What's that? You want the MacGuffin key? Yeah, sure, I'll go get it for you. There's no way this is a trap.
This whole last 10 minutes was basically like a big fight scene. As we know from American Ninja 2, Canon loves making entire 10-minute segments just one giant fight scene. So while He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Tila are battling out with the totally not stormtroopers, Evil Lynn tricks Julie into giving her the cosmic key. She uses it, which is another weird thing. Gwildor, for like 3 hours now, has been trying to punch in codes to figure out the way to get back to Eternia. Evil Lynn literally pushes 4 buttons on this thing, opens a giant portal where Skeletor on this giant like hovering pontoon boat with turrets on the side like starts rolling through with his stormtroopers. And now He-Man is shooting air Centurions until they explode. And not a lot of story in that last 10 minutes.
Now, actually, Steve, there might be a discrepancy here because I don't know if...
Discrepancy?
Yeah, sure.
I think you said discrepancy.
Look, Matt, we're from Memphis City Schools. It was great.
Anyway,
enough.
I don't know if it was Evil Lynn who opened up that portal because all she had to do was just push a few buttons to let Skeletor know that she had the key. Skeletor was holding a key, so I think Skeletor was the one who made the giant portal.
Yeah, because there are 2 keys, right?
Right.
Skeletor has one. Evil Lynn just got Gwildor's. So
All I know is that portal didn't open until she pushed buttons.
Well, yeah, because Skeletor told her, it's like when you collect the key...
Stop arguing, I'm right.
Fuck you. Fuck off.
This is a very important plot detail right here. Did Evil Lynn open the portal, or did Skeletor open the portal?
One of those questions that will...
Maybe Dolph Lundgren. Maybe Dolph Lundgren knows, Matt. Perhaps you should ask him.
Lundgren?
Yeah.
Lundgren? Is this like Lance Hendrickson?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, dude.
Yeah, but I have to say, like, as a kid, I think any kid watching this would just love the hell out of it because it is just filled with action. There's very few, I mean, I don't even think there's been a segment yet that hasn't had some sort of action in it, right?
Except for where Gwildor talks to a cow and eats chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Boom.
I quit. I'm out. Good night, guys. All right,
Matt,
well,
I want you to please read this last piece of trivia you posted because it's magnificent.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, well, see, the thing is, I can't pop it up. Well, let me see.
Oh, well, don't worry because you copied it into the thing here. It says Matt posted actual IMDb trivia.
Yep.
Frank Langella was not considered for an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his brilliant performance in the film as Skeletor, which was praised by fans and reviewers. So
It's great. I mean, he is so good in this, though. I could see.
I feel like his kid bought an IMDb Pro account and added that.
Okay, hold on. This came out in 1987, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to look up who the nominees were for Best Actor in the 87 Academy Awards. Okay, let's talk amongst yourselves. Let me see here.
We have nothing.
I said
to say.
talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so we had James Woods in Salvador, not better than Skeletor here. William Hurt in Children of a Lesser God, no. Bob Hoskins in Mona Lisa. Dexter Gordon in who the hell is Dexter Gordon? Let me look here.
Yeah.
He was an American jazz tenor saxophonist. Oh, apparently he got nominated for Best Actor. And then Paul Newman won for The Color of Money.
And none of that is as cool as Skeletor.
Yeah, Skeletor should at least got a nomination for sure. So, yeah, I agree with that IMDb poster. So, now, is there anything else you guys want to say about this before we head on?
No, literally, this whole 10 minutes was people shooting at each other and Julie being an idiot.
Okay.
Basically.
And Gwildor stealing another thing. This time he stole Lubeck's gun. So,
right, yeah. Fucking Gwildor. Fucking klepto.
Jesus. Okay, so we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Keyboard player in a stupid high school band.
Some important stuff happens in this 10 minutes.
Yeah. Ronan, tell us all about it.
All right, so a few key things happen here. One of the biggest ones, probably unseen, is this is He-Man goes up against the best marksman in all of Skeletor's army because this robot guy actually shoots him in the arm. That's like a first. I don't think they've ever actually shot anyone in the history of ever.
That's true.
So that's a very important moment in the history of the franchise.
There's at one point where He-Man and his friends go out the back door of this music shop that they're in, and they duck down, and the stormtroopers literally aim up and shoot at the top of the door.
That is a thing that happens, yes.
Continue,
and so we also discover in this that Skeletor is also a man of his word because he promises, he tells He-Man, he gives him a choice because his forces, they win. They win this battle that they had. He captures Man-at-Arms and Tila and the other two, who's at the moment. He captures all of them and he gives He-Man the choice where they can either all die on this wretched planet or you can come back and be my slave. I'll let your minds fill in the implications. Yes,
I'll just say it. He wants. Well, I mean, he's got this thing for He-Man.
He's
earlier on, He-Man's it's always been about us. You want me. That's what
He-Man's outfit is basically male slave Leia.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
And so, and He-Man's okay, I'll just surrender.
See, Ronan, here's the problem. You can't just let there be a pregnant pause there. You have to jump in because otherwise it just sounds weird. You know how to podcast. You've been doing it for years. I know you know how to do this.
I'm rusty, dude. I'm rusty. Don't worry about it. But so the point is, He-Man agrees. He-Man's okay, I'll surrender. I'll be your weird manservant, sex slave, or whatever.
Yeah, 'cause he's he gives He-Man a choice, literally gives him a choice. You can do this or this. And then He-Man makes his choice, and then he tells Teela, he's I don't have a choice. He just wants to be a sex slave, that's what I think.
Secretly, yes. And then, when they're carting He-Man off, they have him all chained up and shit. So, and then they're okay, what do we do with these slaves? Or not the slaves, but what do we do with them? And he's let them go. He-Man's honor bound now. And it's so Skeletor had a chance to just kill them all, but he didn't. He's lawful evil, guys. He has a code of honor. That's pretty deep for a kid's villain.
He's more honorable than Gwildor.
Yeah.
Gwildor.
All Gwildor does is steal things and whine and cause massive death on a global scale. At least Skeletor is yeah, man, I'll keep it.
So before He-Man submits to Skeletor's will, the 10 minutes open with He-Man is trying to shoot down the Air Centaurians in their flying hoverboards. And so as soon as I push play, He-Man jumps out of the window of the top floor of a building and knocks this guy off and takes his hoverboard. I don't remember seeing He-Man go up to this building. So it's this weird cut, or unless I missed it, where he just bursts out this window. But then he flies around. He takes his blaster and Man-at-Arms 50-cent like claw machine grappling gun, and he flies away. He shoots a bunch of Evil End's stormtrooper guards that are with there, and fires the claw at the key and pulls it away. He does this really cool scene where he's almost like playing chicken with one of Skeletor's warriors who's also on a hoverboard. But after he gets the key, he does the stupidest thing possible, which is flies directly towards Skeletor with the key. And so they shoot down his hoverboard. He crashes to the ground, and Skeletor force lightnings the key, which burns it out. He also shoots Courtney Cox in the leg with force lightning, which gives her...
Apparently it's poison.
Yeah, poisons her leg because, when he shot the snake guy with it, and the snake guy just vaporized, but he shoots the same thing at Courtney Cox, and it just makes this gross green shit on her leg. But she's sick now. He-Man has gone back to Eternia with Skeletor. Gwildor says there's no way to get back home because Skeletor fried the cosmic key, but luckily the boyfriend knows how to whistle the tune, so the day is saved.
I love it when Gwildor's like, "Hey, why didn't you tell me you're a master songwriter?" And he just like, "Man, you got the wrong guy here."
If you showed Gwildor fucking YouTube, he would just be blown away by all of the shitty people that know how to whistle and play songs.
This is true.
Yeah.
I am seeing a piece of trivia here on IMDb that says there are actually 3 cosmic keys made for this movie. And they actually still exist, and they're valued at $6,000 a piece. But they would break all the time because they were cheap.
Really?
Are they locked in a secret vault somewhere?
It doesn't say. Let me go ahead and look this up.
Remnants of Canon films. Dolph Lundgren has one in his closet at home. You know he does. He takes it out and plays with it every day.
It'd be awesome if it actually, there was a working cosmic key where you could actually press on. Wouldn't it be cool if you were in a band and you loved this movie, but you had an instrument that was built like that? You could make this.
You basically just built a keyboard into a cylinder, and you've got this cosmic key that you can play.
Well, I was trying to be a little cooler than that, Steve, but yeah, you're right. It's just a cylindrical keyboard with forks sticking out the top of it. But. Yeah, so we're getting down to the last bit here. I think there's 25 minutes left, so 2 more segments. He-Man's just been taken back, so now we're going to see some weird stuff. If I remember correctly, there's lots of writhing as Skeletor is watching He-Man be whipped. He's stripped nearly naked and whipped.
50 Shades of He-Man.
I missed the part where He-Man loses his sweaty man cape, but I know they put it around Julie.
Yeah, I think it must have flown off when he got shot and he crashed his hoverboard. But
when he was on the hoverboard, he wasn't wearing it because then they'd have to have it flow in the breeze, and they just couldn't do that. So he had to lose it.
That couldn't add his cape fluttering in post when he's on the hoverboard.
I'm gonna read one piece of trivia here before we go to the next segment here. It says, in the official Masters of the Universe comic book adaptation, and this is spoiling a little bit for the finale, but by this point, who really cares? An alternate ending is used that was written for the movie but never filmed. In the comic, after the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, Man-at-Arms comes from the depths of Castle Grayskull carrying a NASA and United States flag. The NASA flag has Starfinder 5, July 10th, 2221 written on it, revealing that the first humans on Eternia were actually from a future American space mission. He-Man is from Earth.
Okay.
Fine. Whoa.
I thought you guys are going to be way more excited about that than you
It just sounds way too confusing.
Okay.
So Eternia is in Earth's future, but they went to Earth's past. But they're also the future of the Empire.
Yes, it's also Star Wars future.
Yeah,
That's
so Star Wars takes... Yeah, because Star Wars... Well, yeah, I don't know. Earth is not in Star Wars, clearly. But there are human beings running around in the Star Wars.
But they're close because the fucking E.T. aliens are a part of the Galactic Senate. And the E.T. is close enough to get to Earth from wherever he is.
That's
Yeah.
true. It's all connected. It's just one big universe. Let's watch the next.
I still want Stellator Puppet Master movie.
Stellator?
Stellator.
Stellator.
You can get your Stellator Puppet Master movie when I get my Masters of the Universe Beastmaster movie.
He's going to give He-Man the skull bone in a minute.
Okay. And with that, we'll be right back. Okay. I was so into it, I blew right past the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, this is...
That Skeletor monologue, man. It's great. All right.
I don't remember as a kid. I don't remember all the stuff. I just don't remember any of that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
That's his money line.
Neil! Oh, it's so good.
I remember Zod saying it, but I don't remember him.
We've already established this is better than Superman.
Are you trying to tell me that they swiped something from Superman 2?
Neil before Skeletor.
But I believe that Canon Films has too much integrity to steal from anybody.
Borrowed. Homage. There you go.
They will borrow and homage heavily.
Okay, so in this segment here, He-Man has gone back to Eternia to be Skeletor's sex slave. They get a keyboard and they hook it up to a bunch of wires that they've hooked to random things around like
science, Matt. It's science.
Gwildor makes the boyfriend believe in himself, so he can really whistle the tune to the cosmic key really good. And then Gwildor like hooks up a keyboard to the key, and then he hooks the key to like the circuit box of a building.
It's just like Fallout 4 when I'm trying to put my goddamn like water purifier, hooking it up to a generator with like wires. That's what it's like.
Yes, it's exactly like that. But meanwhile, while Gwildor and friends are trying to get back,
Gwildor and friends. That's
while
a
they're
great
trying
name for a band.
Not as good as Orko and friends. But while they're trying to get back to Eternia, Skeletor has He-Man chained up, and he's having Blade whip He-Man with this red laser whip. But the whole time, Skeletor is holding his goat staff pole, and he's really like clenched up on it tight.
Yeah.
And every time the whip hits He-Man, Skeletor like flinches and goes,
He's like taking little sex jumps. He's like, oh.
It is really awkward and uncomfortable. You're like, okay. So
Skeletor, originally his master plan was, I can't kill He-Man to make him a martyr. But he could, because he knows that all of the people will be against him at that point. Apparently, he has no problems whipping the shit and torturing He-Man and letting people know that that's going on.
Well, he said that he wanted to break He-Man, so he wanted to make people see He-Man just completely like break, and then they would lose faith in him.
His punishment must be more severe, Matt.
He did not realize that he was going to have multiple skelegasms as that was occurring.
Yeah, everybody watch out for the wet spot, Skeletor.
So then,
and the 80s really was a pretty awesome time for like these sort of like homoerotic things that people didn't quite realize. No one mentioned.
Did you say hobo-erotic?
No, I said homo.
I think you said hobo-erotic.
We can double check the footage when we're done. but we have like the hanging with the.
The 80s were such a great time for homoeroticism.
But we have that we have the like awesome volleyball scene from Top Gun. There's from Rocky where. Yeah, from Top Gun. Don't you remember?
Don't forget the Lost Boys. The Lost Boys with the
Lost Boys, and there's
shirtless muscle man with the saxophone.
Then there's like Rocky 3, where Apollo is training Rocky. And then there's this, the great it's unmentioned, like the Skeletor getting off on He-Man being whipped. No one brings this up.
In front of the opening of the Great Eye. Yeah, Skeletor, he makes this big announcement to Eternia that he's about to get ultimate power and the sorceress is almost dead. And then he goes and these giant iris opens behind him and he starts glowing gold and he goes into this incredible monologue about how Superman He-Man is no longer his equal.
Superman's not his equal anymore either.
That's right. But this performance is fantastic.
It's awesome. It's probably my favorite part of the movie, honestly.
Yeah, and then he gets this incredible
this fabulous gold outfit.
I don't even know how to describe this outfit. His outfit is now he's wearing a gold robe that looks like gold chainmail with a cape. He has a golden headpiece that comes down to right below his nose. It has gold horns and bat wings on it and a red jewel in the middle.
It's got 80 horns. It's 80-point buck or something. It's just
even his
goat scepter is gold now.
Yeah,
the word for this outfit, Steve, is fabulous. All right,
it's pretty great. Yeah. But what's great, even better, is that he's like, Neil! And he shoots He-Man with these gold eye laser beams, but it doesn't seem to do any damage to He-Man at all. It just knocks him backwards a couple steps. You'd think with unlimited godlike power, he's basically the Thanos of this universe now. He could do a little bit more than just knocking He-Man back a couple steps, but,
Yeah, I'd figure he could top the red laser whip, but no, he can't.
No. Well, we're getting to the last 15 minutes here, but we'll probably just go through all the way.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt the ending of this.
Yeah.
It's too good.
Is there anything else you guys want to mention real quick? I mean, our heroes have just used the cosmic key, and they've landed right in the middle of Skeletor's throne room, which I guess the coordinates were exactly there, which I'm not even gonna think about that. It's just too stupid to think about.
Just going to enjoy the exciting hobo-erotic ending of Masters of the Universe.
And big props to Evil Lynn, who can stare straight into the godlike aura of Skeletor without even blinking, where everyone else just kind of has to shield their eyes away. But yeah, so good on you, Evil Lynn. And with that,
she can't sit down, but she can look into the sun.
That's why her eyes are like that, dude.
Groin bruise. With that, we're going to be back with the final 15 minutes of Masters of the Universe. How do I stop this? There we go. And it's done. And it's over. The greatness that is Masters of the Universe. All right, guys. How did how'd that finale treat you?
It was wonderful right up until Quildor creates a fucking time paradox.
Yeah. Thought we were going to talk. Ronan just jumps right to the end.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll back up. We'll create that time paradox on the show. Back up, use the cosmic key, Steve, go back 20 seconds, and start from there.
Alright, so Skeletor continues to taunt He-Man when he's got his crazy golden power. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Back to the Future principle gets to where the other people are with the cosmic key. They activate it, and he, along with everyone else, gets sent back to Eternia. Once they get there, Skeletor orders his forces to kill them, which allows He-Man to break his word, and so he breaks free of his chains because Skeletor is a terrible aim and force lightnings his chains off. Then there's a big fight. He-Man is beating up all the bad guys. Evil Lynn just bitches out. She's like, "Hey, Karg, go get the spaceship ready or whatever."
Go get the car running.
Yeah,
they just split.
Yeah, she just Evil Lynn and Karg just bail. Beastman and Blade, I don't know, do they die or do they just leave the movie at some point, or what happens to them? I don't recall what happens to them.
I don't really know what happens to Blade at all. I know he's standing
Blade
there. I
gets
think he gets hit in the face, and then we never see him again.
He gets hit in the face, he ducks off camera, and that's it.
That's it, and the end of his role. So we learned that Skeletor's golden force lightning hurts everyone except He-Man, because He-Man throws one of the stormtroopers in front of this force lightning, and it kills the stormtrooper. He-Man runs up to his sword, which is like in some sort of holding place, and the whole time Skeletor is just pounding him with lightning. And He-Man, it has no effect on him. So he pulls out his sword and he yells, I have the power." Well, Skeletor literally just stands there and looks at him, and then they battle. And it turns out, for some reason, the secret to Skeletor's power is his staff. And if you break the staff, he loses his golden power. Because
he doesn't even break it. He just
bends it. Yeah. So bending his golden goat head staff takes away his powers because reasons, and then they battle a little more. Skeletor reverts back to his old form, and then He-Man throws him down a pit a la Palpatine at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Where did that pit come from? Was it there the whole time?
I think so.
There was a shaft there the whole time, I guess.
It's weird. As soon as He-Man and Skeletor start battling one-on-one, everything goes dark, and it's either like barely lit at all, or there's a red light from off camera. But everybody else in the room, who there was this massive battle not 10 seconds ago, just disappears, and it's just Skeletor and He-Man fighting. Regardless, He-Man wins by throwing him down the shaft. They rescue the sorceress. Everybody is happy and safe. The cop decides that he's going to stay in Eternia because there's a young blonde there that he can scam on there. This girl shows up out of nowhere, and he's
magically
like,
he just gets a woman handed to him.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here with this blonde that I have now, and so he's not going to go back to Eternia. So,
he also gets a castle. He mentions he has a castle.
Yeah, I think
he says this. He says this castle, which is literally Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, he's just going to live in Castle Grayskull now. Because, I mean, it's not like he helped them at all. He shot 3 stormtroopers with a shotgun, and
which is still pretty badass, though.
Yeah. He did more than anyone else, because when the whole gang gets teleported there, they basically sit behind what's left of the pink Cadillac and just kind of randomly shoot, and they're not very good shots either. I mean, if the stormtroopers were good shots, they would have been in a lot of trouble. But so laser beams just kind of go everywhere, and then they all disappear, and He-Man fights Skeletor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gwildor reveals out of nowhere that the Cosmic Key is actually a time travel device, which makes the entire subplot about we have to get to the sorceress before the moon comes up just ridiculous and pointless, because he could have gone to at any point in Eternia's history. He could have gone back to before Skeletor got the key from him. He could have gone back and killed Skeletor's mom before he was born. This doesn't occur to him at all.
That would create a really strange paradox, because let's say that could Skeletor and Gwildor, since they each have a cosmic key and they're each a time travel device, that they could each be time traveling past each other to try to change. So whatever Gwildor tries to change, Skeletor could then change.
Well, I don't think Skeletor knows that it's a time travel device. No one knows it's a time travel device until 30 seconds are left in the movie.
Fair enough.
But it's weird because Gwildor tells Courtney Cox and her boyfriend that I can send you back to any point in Earth's history, and the boyfriend says no, just send us home. But Courtney Cox right at the end kind of makes a request as she's going through the portal, and you don't really hear it. But when she wakes up on Earth, it's the day that her parents die, and so now that she's able to prevent her parents' death. And that really fucks up the timeline, because her parents being dead is the only reason she found the cosmic key. So don't
my head hurts.
Don't think about it too hard.
Well, it also sends her back in time. Like it's like one of those things. It goes through space and time, not like Back to the Future, where you're just going through time. This takes you through space and time, and she magically wakes up in her old past body in her old bed. So there's not two of her running around, which
Very
you would think would naturally.
By the way.
Yeah, there's not two of her running around. It's just she magically gets teleported into her past body with her future memories.
What happens to the cop? Because he stayed in Eternia. Does he exist in this new timeline for a few daes and then just vanishes?
Because
already?
Because they're back in time. What's going on is still going to happen. There's like He-Man and in them, they're still going to get sent to what's going to be their future with their cosmic key. So he created a time paradox. He's an asshole.
How about we just not think about this and enjoy that fucking fantastic movie?
Gwildor sucks.
Gwildor sucks.
So terrible. Oh, God.
Skeletor promises he'll be back, but that was 20 years ago.
I did like the conflicting nature of Skeletor.
It's almost 30 years ago,
where Skeletor was basically said is taking out He-Man. He's like, I'm going to kill you now. Basically, goes to kill him. And then immediately when He-Man breaks free and the Stormtroopers are trying to kill He-Man, he yells at his own Stormtroopers saying, I want him alive. He's very conflicted sexually during this whole scene.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he wants. Well, he knows what he wants, but yeah. So, let's wrap up our final thoughts on this, guys. What would you rate this, Ronan, if you had to rate Masters of the Universe?
Well, I would give it. I would definitely give Dead and Tombstone a 5 out of 5. I love. I don't know why this movie gets such a bad rep. Danny Trejo as He-Man is wonderful. It's perfect casting, really. Fuck Gwildor though, because he's just a little asshole. I'm sad they never made a sequel.
That sequel needs to happen.
Dead and Tombstone was much better than I thought it was going to be. That is for sure. I do think that Danny Trejo was cast a little strange. I mean, he does look like Skeletor, but I couldn't buy the performance that well. No. Steve, what do you think?
I think that Sorod, our favorite snake person, is also the monkey guy in The Golden Child, and that makes me very happy. And also Masters of the Universe is awesome.
Yep, for sure. And that's it. That is...
Wait. What's your Netflix suggestions?
Oh, yeah, well, mine just says Narcos. It didn't give me...
You got Narcos. I've got Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and The Ridiculous Six.
Oh, is that Adam Sandler?
Yeah, that straight to Netflix Adam Sandler movie. No, I'm not watching it.
Interesting.
Ronan, what do you think about your first Matt cast?
Well, what did Ronan get for his selections?
My selections are Monster Squad, Dark Fury, and Big Trouble in Little China. Those are little things that are popping up on mine.
Yeah.
But I guess I enjoyed it. It was a good show, good time.
Pregnant pause. Did it again. The pregnant pause. We will train you, Padawan. Don't worry. Well, that is it. I guess we'll see you guys next month at some point. Maybe Rachel will come back. Who knows? Go watch Masters of the Universe. Have a great night, everybody.